And I suppose the question is, I don't know if you're a Christian or not, and if you are, wouldn't you say it's better for churches to feed people than the government to feed people?
So why do you think there should be some policies that should be governed at the state level, but then not other policies when it's sort of governed like this, when it's specifically over 2,000 times in the Bible?
So we go back to the Constitution because that's our core governance. So if it's in the Constitution, it should be there, such as border security, national security, printing of money, the Treasury, enforcing of interstate commerce, Department of Justice, those tariffs, collecting of duties. However, the government providing food to its citizenry is not in the Constitution, and it should be a last gap effort. And I suppose the question is, I don't know if you're a Christian or not, and if you are, wouldn't you say it's better for churches to feed people than the government to feed people?
Yeah, okay, so I am a Christian, and I do think that by any means necessary, the number one priority of every single citizen in society under Christian values, as you like to preach, should be to help their fellow man, to help them feed, help them get clothes, and help the needy. And I think that out here preaching, if you think that the government is a means of, at the end of the day, it's inevitable, the government is inevitable. And I think that we have to have that means that has such a mass scale of outreach to help feed people and to help give them their needs. I think that churches, they lack a lot of central organization that the government has to help reach out with them to help feed them.
If all the money we spend on the government to feed people went away, do you think the church would step up and make sure there's not a single hungry person in America?
I think that they would try, but again, I think that the government is a unique position that as Christians we should be using to fulfill the will of God.
How is the government in a better position than the church? Build that out for me.
Yeah.
Are there more churches or more government buildings in America?
Can the church make laws?
Well, no, but the church actually
The church
can
can't
collect
make laws.
money and actually deploy it much more effectively than the federal government can. Because then we subsidize bad eating habits of the poor, so that the working poor is very obese, so they go buy Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Frito-Lays, and the church is not involved, where the church would then say, hey, instead of going to the local grocery store with a bunch of food stamps and SNAP benefits, why don't you come by our church and we'll feed all of you and a much more healthy meal made by our own members, and then you can hear the gospel afterwards.